Hi guys, Steve here. At the moment, a 300i doesn't have enough cargo space for the stats specified, so to get around that we're going to stick a cargo pod underneath to meet requirements. I don't think you need to, as if you change the interior around you would have enough room. I'm going to show you the inside so you can see what it looks like at the moment before I change it. I'll just open this door. Okay, like all of you, I expected this rear area to be the main cargo hold. I wasn't sure how the cargo would be placed because the area is not flat, but I trusted they'd come up with something suitable. The next possible storage area are these two compartments at the bottom of this corridor. I knew the bed would come out from here, but I wasn't sure how they'd do it. I thought one of them might be used for cargo as well. I will sit in the pilot seat so you can see where the bed is. I'll just change the view. And that's where the bed is kept. It would concertina out and then the bottom section would extend for your feet. So there's no room for cargo there. But you would be able to fit cargo on the right section as it's empty. Okay, I'll show you the back area again, then the underneath. The angled floor would make it difficult to load a large cargo container. This is a 350R version. It's not really meant to carry cargo as it's a racer, and on this version you wouldn't be able to fit a cargo pod as these long intakes are blocking the underside. I'll show you what a 315p looks like. I've had to boost the contrast because you can't see anything in a basic hangar. This and the other models do have a flat underside, so you would be able to get a cargo pod underneath. But the 300 series is supposed to be a luxury spaceship, and it'd be like sticking a luggage rack on top of a Lamborghini. So this is what I've come up with. First of all, a thank you to Icy Jones for sending me the model to work with. I've incorporated all the modifications, and as you can see, the outside of the ship remains the same. I didn't want to alter the outer hull, so the first restriction would be the size of a cargo I'll be able to fit through the doorway. The height and width of the cargo would be governed on the size of our entrance. The next restriction, the length, is determined by how much I could get in with the doors closed. Then these three measurements give you the maximum size for your cargo container. However, if you fit this size cargo inside that current interior, you'll have two problems. The first being, you'll barely have enough room to enter the ship. This is where you're positioned as you're board at the moment. The container's so close to you that it encroaches into your space. But the second and most important problem is, the cargo is a dead weight that weighs tons. It would be extremely difficult to load the cargo through the doorway, then move it to the back of the ship. And obviously you can't leave it in the doorway, as that will block the entrance to the cockpit. So the first thing I needed to do was redesign the interior floor. I lowered the back section and made it flat to accommodate the cargo container. This is it before and after. Before, after. The cargo is now lower and gives greater clearance to enter the ship. To unload, the floor panel drops down and slides under the floor, then the cargo section moves forward. Then the hydraulics lift the cargo container into position. Then the mag loader moves in, locks onto the cargo, and then unloads it. I'll show you that again. And then close in. As you can see on this side view, the cargo ends up in a perfect position to be unloaded. And then when you're loading cargo, everything just runs in reverse. The mag loader comes in with a new cargo container. Unlocks it, then withdraws. Then hydraulics move the cargo into its storage position. Also, with the advantage of a cargo being positioned lower, there's enough room for 2 large carry-on containers. Okay, now for the new side redesigns. This is a current interior. And this is a new cargo version. Before, after, before, and after. These side containers are exactly the same height and width as a large back cargo container. To unload, they slide out on rails, then the hydraulics lift them into the unloading position. From a side view, you can see that the cargo will end up in the same unloading position as the main central crate did. I've got as much cargo space outside as I could, so if it ends up being too much, you can reduce the size of the cargo containers, then use that extra space in the design and open the corridor out a bit more. The structure is supported by hydraulics at the back, but I still think the bottom struts are a bit small at the moment, but they can be enlarged later. And then once in position, the mag loader comes in, locks on and then unloads the cargo. And then when you want to load a new container, everything is just reversed. The mag loader comes in with a new cargo, unlocks and then withdraws again. Then the hydraulics lower and the cargo is stored away. If you're a bounty hunter and you didn't need a side cargo space, you can replace the cargo pods with cryo tanks to store your prisoners. Because they are the same size of the cargo containers, the unloading process is exactly the same. I'll show you the inside so you can see the prisoner in position. Let's unload the ship to see how much cargo it can hold now. I'll remove the large carry-on crates, the main rear cargo, and both the side cargo containers. With all this cargo combined, it should be easily more than 8 tons. With this cargo system, you're also able to unload the ship in space. If you're a pirate and you're stealing the cargo, you'd activate the unload position, attach control thrusters front and back, then carefully guide the cargo to your ship. Okay, that's the cargo sorted. Now let's take a look at your new toys. If you have any unwanted guests, you'll need something to take care of them, so you should find something you could use in your new weapons rack. Then when you've had a hard day at work, you'll want to sit down and see how your business is going. check what items you're selling at your computer desk. And when your favourite show's on, you can just sit back and relax. Then when you're feeling a bit tired, you can activate your luxurious bed. Then lay back and look at the stars as you fall asleep. One thing I noticed is, when you want to go to hypersleep to log off, all the beds are enclosed. The Auroras, the Avengers, and the Constellations all have enclosed sleeping areas, but 300i doesn't. I don't know what they had planned to do here, whether it's to put the whole cabin into stasis when you went to sleep. So I came up with an idea to enclose a bed, and to do it I had to come up with some new futuristic technology. So please pay attention to this short, informative film. Liquid glass was invented by the chemical division of Jackson Engineering in 2142. In its liquid form, glass has the same consistency and is as malleable as a bubble, with also having the advantage of being many microns wider. Once the desired shape is acquired, a low-level electrical current is applied to the structure, which aligns its crystalline molecules and converts the glass into its solid state. In its hardened form, liquid glass has a much stronger structural integrity than other solid compounds of a thicker density, making it an ideal material for a collapsible stasis chamber. I hope that was understandable. Basically, it's just a flexible liquid that can turn into solid glass, then back again once you stop the electrical current. And hey, this is a distant future, you can invent what you want as long as it sounds realistic. Okay, back to the stasis chamber. Once the bed has been activated, liquid glass shutters move into position. Then the dispensing frame descends, leaving a solid glass wall that seals off both ends. Finally, the central panels move into position, creating an airtight chamber. Then the stasis activates and you log out. Let's watch that again from the front. This chamber can also be used as a lifeboat if the outer hull is ever breached. Now on to the last two modifications. I call these two panels the glove boxes, but they don't have any purpose at the moment. Because this is a luxury ship and you'll be out in space a long time, I've fitted a toilet. Yes, it is close to the pilot's chair, but this is literally the only place left on the ship to put it. So I did build in some extractor fans, just in case you get some nasty whiffs. So if you did have any cargo you want to unload, you now can. And when you're finished, it just folds away to be cleaned. And finally to the last area on the opposite side. It's a pretty sizable space. You could have different equipment there, from food dispensers, medical unit. But I'd go for a lockable safe to keep all my treasured items. So there you go, 300i has just about everything you need apart from a kitchen sink. Okay, you can have one of those as well. Well, that's it guys, thanks for watching, and if you like anything you see, please leave a comment and let the devs know. Goodbye.